NBA trade deadline is hitting us today, I believe at 3 p.m. We're recording this the night before trade deadline, where I'm going to post it around 10 o'clock in the morning. So anything we talk about right now, me and Colin, I hope something does not happen to mess up our predictions or takes overnight. We might get hit with a Woj nuke.
This is Wednesday right now. If anything happens on Thursday, we will not. I mean, we don't know right now, but
yeah, it's just this is what we think should happen as of Wednesday night at about 8:30 p.m. So we'll see what goes on here.
There's already been a multi-team trade, and there's already some players, sitting out games. I think we should go over the trade that's actually happened.
Well, I did yesterday's episode.
Oh, you did?
I there was a full episode on that one. Yeah, so if you want to go check that out, go look at yesterday's episode. All the links.
Where
in the
can
description.
I find it?
All the links in the description. You can go watch it on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Go look for yesterday's episode. But today we're talking about not the 4-team trade, but basically anything else. I alluded to in yesterday's episode that I was going to talk about D'Angelo Russell possibly moving maybe to Minnesota, maybe to the New York Knicks. They've been shopping him.
Yeah.
So we'll start with that because that's the one I'm most interested in talking about.
Russell and Wiggins.
Yeah. So I think that something that would be beneficial to both teams would be Minnesota give Golden State Andrew Wiggins plus the first-round pick they acquired from Atlanta via the Brooklyn Nets. I think that would be enough to get D'Angelo Russell done.
I agree.
I think that D'Angelo Russell playing with one of his best friends, Karl Anthony Towns, could be a fruitful partnership.
I also think that'll help change up the locker room because there's a
lot of negative.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw Karl Anthony Towns' Instagram stories today, he's very unhappy with that 4-team trade. I thought it was a fine trade for Minnesota. I thought, they're committing to the tank, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that they could realistically land a guy like D'Angelo Russell. They need a guard for sure, especially after they got rid of Jeff Teague.
Oh, man. They've needed a guard besides Teague for a while.
And I think that, the chemistry between D'Angelo Russell and Towns is going to be great. Maybe in the future you could look at getting Devin Booker because that's a trio of friends.
They are all best buddies.
So... And if you look at Golden State's side, like I was saying yesterday, hang on. Let me just pitch the starting five I have envisioned for Golden State next year, because I think Golden State are going to be a contender next year.
I agree.
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson is your backcourt. You got Andrew Wiggins at the 3, Draymond Green at the 4, and then because of your lottery pick, you can end up getting a guy like Wiseman to run the 5, and that starting 5 is ridiculous.
Yeah, if Wiseman doesn't go first overall, which he is projected to right now, I think a lot of things have to go right for the Warriors for them to get Wiseman, or maybe even trade up for Wiseman. Mm-hmm. But I think a center would be the obviously the final team. But I think Wiggins at the 3 spot would be amazing. Like, he'll be kind of like when they had Harrison Barnes.
Yeah,
and they won the championships. He's a good. He can give you offense, but he's also tall, lengthy. Like, he's athletic. He can.
Yeah, they need that.
Put in work on defense.
I think they need that sort of slasher because of they got such formidable shooting.
They always have so much floor space.
It might be nice to have something else.
A slasher would be very.
And I think that Andrew Wiggins needs a fresh start because, even though Minnesota fans like him,
he's kind of hooping right now though.
He's regressed a lot since the start.
Not
of the season.
Much as
he's regressed a lot. His shooting percentages are down. I like what Kendrick Perkins said about Andrew Wiggins the other day. He said that Andrew Wiggins has a huge accountability issue. So I think that Kendrick Perkins said something interesting. He said he needs to go somewhere like Miami Heat where they're gonna hold him accountable.
And he won't be the guy.
But I think at the Warriors he could get that fresh start, move on from Minnesota. I think that Minnesota need to shake up if they're gonna be contenders. They've lost 12 in a row at this point that we're recording. So something needs to change. I think that deloading to Minnesota would be somewhere that he would be happy. I think that he can help turn around that franchise. You can make maybe a move you're gonna have a good pick probably. You're gonna have a lottery pick.
Curry's not coming back till March. So
I'm saying Minnesota. You're gonna have a lottery pick because they're second bottom in the Western Conference, head of Golden State. So I think that's a good move for both teams. What do you think?
I agree. Another trade or potential trade I want to talk about is Andre Iguodala to the Miami Heat.
That's making a lot of noise right now. That's something that might happen by the time this episode comes out.
I think that'd be a great pickup for the Heat. Like, just adding another experienced veteran into that locker room and also on the court. Like, he's a great defender. He can do his own thing on offense, even though he is old.
He can shoot.
We've
veteran
seen
veteran experience for a team that's very young.
We've seen he plays very well in the playoffs. He's a great guy to have late in game when you're closing out a team.
He's been a Finals MVP.
He's been a Finals MVP, and I don't think they'd have to give up an arm and a leg to get him.
No, I think it's clear that Memphis want to move on. They don't want to buy him out, so
he doesn't want to be there.
Better to do something, get a trade, than lose him for nothing at the end of the year.
At least get like a second round pick or something for him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like I think Miami. I think he would be great in Miami. They're also looking at adding Danilo Gallinari as well. Like not just one or the other. They want to get both. I'm not sure the pieces that would have to be involved in order to make that
I don't really
happen.
know what they would trade to get Gallinari, because Gallinari is like quietly putting up like 21 points, isn't he?
Yeah,
like,
Gallinari. I think he's like something around 20. I think he might be like around 19.
He's always been like just a quietly good offensive
even last
player.
year. Even last year, people don't appreciate Gallinari. I don't know what they're going to give up. I don't know if OKC wants to tamper with the team they have. I'm not
That's
sure.
the thing.
Like,
they don't want to give up any.
The thing is, Miami as well don't really have pieces that they want to trade. Like maybe in the Iguodala trade, maybe Derek Jones involved in that.
I was
some
saying
way.
like maybe Derek Jones, Kelly Olynyk, and like a pick.
I could
like,
see Kelly Olynyk moving. I could see Kelly Olynyk moving to Memphis along with a pick. Miami probably won't be too upset giving away a pick there.
He has 19 points this year.
So I think that Iguodala is a high possibility. I think Gallinari is a bit harder. I don't know if OKC is gonna be interested in trading that, but I think that I would not be surprised that by the time this episode comes out, Iguodala is a Miami Heat player. Another thing, D'Angelo Russell has a lot of interest from the Knicks. The Knicks are brain dead, so I don't think
they should make a trade.
I don't think that they're gonna.
They'd have to give up a lot of things that they don't really want to or have.
Yeah.
Like they'd have to.
They don't have enough. They don't have the pieces to trade. That's basically what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, I don't. The Knicks are, and they just fired their president.
Yeah,
like,
Steve Mills is gone. There's a lot
going on in New York. I feel bad for my boy RJ.
They're looking at Masai Ujiri. I don't think that's gonna happen. Stephen A said something interesting yesterday. You could get a guy like Kenny Smith to be your executive, because Kenny Smith is being interested in being an NBA executive. Also, Kenny Smith is from, I think, Queens, so right in the heart of New York. That could be something. And then a guy like Mark Jackson would be interested in becoming head coach under Kenny Smith. So I think that's a potential, but I don't think Masai Ujiri is going to part ways. Also, if he was to part ways with the Raptors, there'd need to be some draft pick compensation that I don't think the Knicks can afford to lose given their situation as being awful.
I would not want to give up Masai for all the draft picks.
No, and I don't think the Knicks would want to give up those picks either. I think it's mutually that they don't. They won't come to an agreement there. Yeah. But let's move on. Let's talk about the LA Lakers. They are trying to acquire a ball handler to back up when LeBron is not on the court. They've been trying to get Dennis Schroeder.
I've heard some D Rose.
I was about to say they're trying to get D Rose. Apparently, they were really trying to get Dennis Schroeder earlier today. So it would have been yesterday if you're listening to this. That doesn't seem likely, though. OKC are asking for a lot. They don't really want to trade him because he's a really good backup guard. And OKC obviously 7th in the West.
Since they're running Shy at the 2 and Chris Paul at the 1.
So Dennis Schroeder's a good guy to have. I think Schroeder would be great on LA. I just don't think that they can come up with enough to get Schroeder away from OKC.
I think that'd be a great pickup, though, if they were to get him.
If they could. I don't think they will. I think that one's pretty dead.
If not, go for Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose.
That'd be so cool.
It would be great to see Derrick Rose on LA. I think he'd do very well as their, I guess, sixth man there. But, again, you got to look at what they're going to... Like, Kyle Kuzma is obviously the most attractive piece that LA have.
Would you consider a Kuzma for Rose, straight up?
I think that at any given point, LeBron's going to run out of gas. You got to be careful.
You need a guy like Rose has proven recently that he can come in and he can get you
He
buckets
can be a
when you
six
need
man.
it.
Yeah.
He can come in and he can take over for portions of a game.
Just to finish my point, like you obviously might look at it in a few years of giving up Kyle Kuzma, like, wow, like Kyle Kuzma was such a great player. We had him, we gave him up. But you got to understand right now,
You need right
like
now.
I'm saying, LeBron, as much as I love LeGoat, like
You need to beat the
you
Clippers.
You don't know when that expiration date is, and I don't think it's in the next couple of years. I think it might be in 3 years. But
You want to win right now for
you know,
LA.
playing a lot, injuries happen to players who are old and play a lot, so you don't know what you're going to get from LeBron year to year. So when you look right now, and we think that Golden State are going to be contenders next year. The Clippers are going to be strengthened even further this offseason because they're Lou Will's on such a great contract. They don't have expiring contracts really. So right now, if you can trade Kuzma to make your team just an extra step better to win the NBA championship, I think that's something you got to do. I think Detroit would like to have a guy like Kyle Kuzma, especially, like you can move on from Blake Griffin. I think he might be his contract might be up soon.
Who?
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin? I think he has a couple years left.
But regardless, I think the Pistons need some fresh players the Pistons got a lot going wrong there. So I think that if you can maybe, I don't know, if you were LA, would you trade Kyle Kuzma for Derrick Rose?
Absolutely.
I think I would too.
I think absolutely I would.
I think you can kind of be happy with the bigs you got in LA. You just Rajon Rondo's not going to cut it as your backup guard.
I think he's fine as like a reserve, like just in case if you need him, then that's when you could bring him in.
But like the Lakers are really bad when LeBron's in the court, and you got to wonder how much LeBron can really be playing. Like think about like Derrick Rose would alleviate a lot of the pressure off LeBron from playing a lot. So if you can get more minutes of LeBron on the bench, that just makes him so much better.
I agree.
Late,
especially
playoffs.
leading up to the playoffs too, like giving LeBron that extra bit of rest every game, like that would be tremendous.
When it comes to Game 6, Game 7, fourth
against the
quarter,
Clippers, like you're gonna need
NBA,
LeBron
or NBA, conference finals or NBA finals.
You're gonna need LeBron.
You're gonna have a better LeBron if he's resting a little bit more
LeBron
right now,
yeah.
especially when he's going up against a guy like Kawhi Leonard who sits out like half the fucking games in the season.
Yeah.
So realistically, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think the Lakers are gonna end up getting a move to happen, but I think that they should really consider locking up a point guard like Derrick Rose. So there's one. I agree. You know what? Now that I think about it, they really want Schroeder. Maybe get a team involved for Gallinari. Flip Kuzma over to OKC to fill in that 4 slot. Kuzma to OKC. You bring in Schroeder. Maybe you can get another team involved for Gallinari. Maybe. I'm just speculating. Now that I'm just thinking about it. But it's going to be hard for the Lakers to get the point guard that they need.
I agree. They don't really have many assets besides Kuzma that I think that they'd be willing to give up.
A lot of noise, actually, in the last couple hours on Alex Caruso. Apparently, there's a lot of teams looking to acquire Alex Caruso. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it depends on like if teams are like seriously considering like bidding for Caruso, or if it's like teams are like, here, you can have a second. You can have this
it depends what it is, but I think that Alex Caruso adds a new element when he's on the court. Obviously, he's not he's not hooping, he's not putting up a ton of points, but when he's on the court, you notice like there's good energy. He's solid on defense.
Yeah. He brings good energy.
Like he's not a complete scrub when it comes to shooting. So I think that, 6'5" point guard. So I think you could realistically get some value out of Alex Caruso. I just don't think the Lakers don't have a ton of depth. Let's keep it real. It's not a deep bench.
No, they don't
can't really afford
They're really
to.
LeBron and AD heavy.
So it's good to have high energy guys to make up the lack of talent on that that bench 5.
Yeah.
So I think that they should keep Alex Caruso. I don't think they'd want to trade him anyway, but that's all on LA really. Next player I want to talk about, Kelly Oubre is apparently on the market. The Suns are listening to offers for Kelly Oubre. Do you see any place that could take on Kelly Oubre?
If the Heat don't go for Iggy, I think they should go for Kelly Oubre.
But what would they trade for that?
I don't know. Send them back Derek Jones Jr., Kelly Olynyk. That's not to me.
That's not
that would
enough.
be the only. Maybe Duncan Robinson.
There's no way you're trading Duncan Robinson. Every team
Oubre can shoot the 3.
Yeah, but every team needs the specialists, the JJ Redicks, the Duncan Robinsons, the guy who's gonna hit his threes. Like Duncan Robinson is straight wet. That's the kind of guy teams need. And I think that to make up for the lack of overall talent the Heat have, they need guys who are going to be spot-up shooters like that. And I don't think Kelly Oubre would really be...
Duncan Robinson's 44% on 7.7 attempts.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, here's an interesting one I thought of before we started. I think that a team that needs depth right now, and you just got a few assets that they can trade, Denver Nuggets. They could trade Gary Harris, and they could maybe trade that Houston first-round pick and try to acquire Kelly Oubre from the Suns.
I feel like Gary Harris would... No, that probably wouldn't get you Kelly Oubre. Probably Gary Harris.
I think more. But Gary Harris and the first.
I feel like that wouldn't be bad for a guy like Kelly Oubre.
As a core of a package, maybe you could add in a couple depth guys to that.
Okay, but now that I think about it, I feel like... Okay, Kelly Oubre's putting up 18.5 points a game, but he's taking 14.6 shots a game.
Oh, he's shooting a lot. He's
shooting a lot.
Volume shots, yeah.
And it's kind of efficient. 45 from the field, 346 from 3. It's not awful, but it's not great either. Like, I don't know. I feel like Gary Harris could be just that for Oubre, maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah, honestly, like, I feel like Oubre's stats are just inflated because he has such a big role on the Suns.
Well, but you get what I'm saying. Like, okay, the trade could be centralized around Gary Harris, but you also, you've acquired that first-round pick from Houston. You could realistically look at if Denver need better bench options because they got rid of Malik Beasley. Noah Vonleh, Gerald Green probably aren't going to cut it at the bench for a team that needs to go far in the playoffs who can realistically win the Western Conference.
I've always thought the Nuggets had a good bench, but you think they need to bolster it?
After the trade, yeah. I think they need to bolster it after trading Malik Beasley.
It did hurt losing Beasley. They didn't really play Juan Hernangomez that much. Mm. But like, man, they got Michael Porter Jr. back too. Like, they've got, like, oh my goodness, Will Barton is on the bench. Like, Jeremy Grant, Monte Morris, Torrey Craig even gives them minutes. Like, Mason Plumlee gives them minutes.
Oh,
like,
they've got
those
a good
are all
bench,
decent.
right? Like, I think they can bolster it
but
further.
Also good trade assets if they want to bolster it.
They could
like,
bolster
some more,
it. Like, Denver's not done. I'm pretty sure Denver's looking to make a move today, if they haven't already. I think Denver are shopping right now because I don't think they need that Houston pick. They've been good at acquiring talent without the draft. They can get value out of guys who you maybe not think that would give them value. So I think that Kelly Oubre is something they should look at. Gary Harris is one of the more attractive pieces to lose in that, but I think that's realistically a possibility for Denver to acquire Kelly Oubre. Other teams, I'm not really sure about other teams being involved for Kelly Oubre. Can you think of?
Maybe the Bucks. Maybe.
I mean,
just add some
problem
more
with the Bucks. The Bucks
3-and-D to that team.
The Bucks are very adept on chemistry because they're not the most talented team, like around, like minus Giannis. They're not the most talented team, but those guys play so well together. Like, I know I've heard that apparently teams are looking at Dante DiVincenzo, but the Bucks are just very keen on keeping that group together going to the playoffs because they realistically have a very good possibility of winning the NBA championship with the team they have.
Yeah, but why not just?
What do you think you would add Kelly Oubre to that team?
Just more of what they're good at. 3D Giannis. Play because like, yes, Oubre is like, he's getting a role for the Suns, but realistically, Oubre hasn't been a dominant role guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's a piece that you can add around a star. He's been playing with Bradley Beal and John Wall before he was at Phoenix. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who do you think they'd have to give up though to acquire a guy like Kelly Oubre?
I don't know. Maybe DiVincenzo. I don't know. Like, and their pick. Hold on. Let me look at the Bucks.
Well, they've got at the 3 they've got Chris Middleton. They definitely don't want to mess up the chemistry when it comes to Chris Middleton.
Maybe Wesley Matthews, Kyle Korver. No, they want to keep Ilyasova. Any of those guys, like Robin Lopez, maybe.
Again, the problem is the problem again is that the chemistry is so good there that
I know.
if you add in a guy who maybe disrupts the play, like Kelly Oubre, like we said, needs a lot of shots. He gets a lot of touches to get his points. I don't know if Kelly Oubre can shoot. I think he'd fit the mold of the Bucks, but I don't know if they have what they need to trade for him to be and to stay successful with the chemistry. I think that the Bucks should kind of not be if the opportunity presents itself to find a good piece to add to your team, you can go for it, but you don't need to force anything right now. You have by far the best record in the NBA, by far. They're up 4 games on the, or 4.5 games on the Lakers right now. They're 43-7.
I think a team like the Mavs should make a move, but I don't think they have many assets to make it.
No, I agree. The Mavs,
because they can realistically make a playoff spot this year.
Oh, no, they're going to be a playoff team, I think. Oh, they're going to be a playoff team. The Dallas Mavericks can be a playoff team. They've looked good this season. They've looked fine.
I know, but if you want to make
even when Luka Doncic isn't available, they look fine. It's weird because the talent doesn't seem to be there on the roster, but they've been playing very well.
31.
Tim Hardaway is playing great. Kristaps Porzingis has been fine. He's going to get even better as the season goes on. Luka Doncic has been MVP caliber. There's ballers. Seth Curry is hitting his shots. So I don't know. I don't know if they need to really change anything up either. I think that Denver are the best fit for Oubre if anybody really, really wants him. I'm not sure.
I think Denver right now is realistically the only team that could potentially compete with the Lakers or the Clippers.
Oh yeah, I said start of the season that Denver can win the West. Denver can get the top seed in the
They've got
West.
Guys to do it. They've got a lot of guys.
They could. I don't think they'll come out of the West in playoffs, but they could.
I don't think the Rockets are gonna with the recent moves. I don't think the Rockets are gonna do much in the West. I have no idea how it's gonna work. I'm so intrigued to see how their games are because they have no bigs.
I was talking yesterday that they could maybe look at trading Eric Gordon for Al Horford. That doesn't seem like that will happen, but I was speculating Al Horford playing as a 5 there because I think that'd be a great fit for him.
Awesome. I think that'd be
great
awesome.
Fit, a 5 that can spread the floor and fit into Mike D'Antoni's system. But I don't know what they're gonna do with PJ Tucker starting at the 5.
PJ Tucker cannot start at the 5.
He's 6'5". If it comes to playoff time, you look at the LA teams and teams who are not Los Angeles Clippers or Los Angeles Lakers are looking at what they need to do to make themselves comparable and competitive with those LA teams. And I don't see Houston having done that. They have good wing depth now with Covington. They can defend on the wings very well, but AD's going to average 40 points a game if they play them in the playoffs.
Yeah. Isaiah Hartenstein at the moment is not enough to sustain a team in the West.
No. He's a bench guy, at best.
Even guys if the Rockets don't get a decent big, even the Nuggets and the Jazz, the Mavericks, the Thunder, the Grizzlies are all going to have better bigs, which they could easily exploit because Isaiah Hartenstein is he's this young prospect guy.
I've been saying that. Why is nobody looking at Kenneth Faried? Free agent, bring him back to Houston.
He played well in
13 and 8, 13 points, 8 rebounds a game in Houston last year.
Yeah.
30 years old. Why not bring in a Kenneth Faried? You clearly need depth at center. You need a center. You only have one center on your roster now.
I know.
Why not add a guy like Kenneth Faried? And it doesn't look like they're going to make a move. It seems like they're going to run with PJ Tucker at the 5.
I really hope they don't.
He's going to get eaten alive.
I feel like the Rockets are just taking a score, outscore us mentality.
A realistic matchup is the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs. They're going to get destroyed by Nikola Jokic. And if they come against the Lakers or Clippers, Montrezl Harrell and Anthony Davis, in combination with Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, and then for the Clippers, Ivica Zubac, they're going to get destroyed in the paint. Yeah. And the wing defense isn't going to be enough.
And And especially if the Rockets are going with a score more than us mentality, we've seen times where Harden will go 2 for 19.
Oh, absolutely.
We've seen times where Russell Westbrook will go 2 for 19. Like
When you live and die, so like they live and die by the three, but now they are really living and dying by the three.
Yes.
So I don't think the wing D and three ball is going to be enough. Like you got to have some, like you're not going to get rebounds when Harden's missing like 60% of the shots he takes at least in some games. You're not going to even grab rebounds.
They're going to get no rebounds.
Like AD's going to be putting up like 40 and 15 against the Rockets.
He's going to put up like 40 and 40.
That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
They are really going to struggle
when
they have to defend the paint. I don't see what they've done here. I think they need to go out and get
out and get a guy like Drummond.
Yeah, but what
if
are the
asking
pieces? They just gave away their first round pick.
Yeah,
the assets are low. I think Eric Gordon is an asset. I think or House. You got to get it big. I think House is a guy you could part ways with.
Shop, yeah.
You could shop House. I think House is a decent player. Shop him. I think he's putting up like 34% from 3, 10 points a game.
Yeah, he's not.
You could look at a guy like
he's a
that.
Good role player.
Maybe Ben McLemore. He's having a career year. Maybe try to get some value out of him. But you aren't getting much for him. They need something. At center, and I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see how bad it's going to be with PJ Tucker having to run center.
I absolutely can't wait to watch one of their games. I absolutely can't wait.
I'm excited to watch that dumpster fire that
they're gonna get
I think
scored
it might
on.
turn into.
They're gonna get scored on
we'll
so
see
much.
if they can turn it around.
They're gonna get scored on so much.
You've got the coach to figure out how to work around that, and they've clearly Mike D'Antoni and Daryl Morey have clearly decided this is the avenue they want to pursue. So
yeah,
that's how it's going to be.
Is there any other team that could be looking to buy or sell? I feel like the Blazers might need to do something. They're 23 and 28. They're not in a playoff spot right now when historically they've come third, fourth, fifth, third, fourth. You know what I mean? They're nice.
I think a lot of the issue is Yusuf Nurkic is not available.
Okay, but still, they won a playoff series without him.
It's true.
And they added Hassan Whiteside, and Dame is back and better than ever. Supposedly, he's going on this crazy run.
There's not a lot of depth there. I don't think they should be sellers yet. I think
they should be buyers. If you're
buyers,
Portland, you guys need to get in the playoffs. Goddamn.
I think. Well, I mean, maybe their team who could use a guy like Kelly Oubre. I'm not sure. I don't know how well he gelled with a guy like.
Well, they
Anthony.
did lose Rodney Hood.
I don't know how well he gelled with a guy like Carmelo Anthony, who needs the ball a lot as well. I think they're two kind of similar. So I don't know if that's the avenue that would be beneficial
could work,
to them.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys to go around who need the ball, especially when you have Dame and McCollum. Once you get Nurkic back, he's gonna want the ball. A lot of guys who I wouldn't call Dame ball dominant, but he's certainly more ball dominant than other guards. You know what I mean? Dame is more of a scorer than a facilitator.
Yeah, he got his first career triple-double last week.
Yeah.
So that shows you about those assist numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's available for the Trailblazers. I don't think Kelly Oubre would really gel in that. I'm not sure. I think they should be buyers, but I don't think they're gonna end up making any moves. I think that the big story is gonna be Iguodala. I think I want to see Wiggins in Golden State, and I want to see D'Angelo Russell in Minnesota.
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see the Lakers acquire a point guard.
That's
what I want to see. I'd love to see.
I want to see Miami Heat get Iggy and or Kelly Oubre if they could work it. I don't know.
They want Gallinari.
Maybe they want Gallinari. That'd be pretty cool.
So I mean, updates are gonna happen
Yeah.
by the minute. There are probably some guys that we're talking about right now who have already been moved somewhere. Which
potentially.
I'm just looking at Twitter right now. Apparently, Justice Winslow is going to be involved in the trade to the Grizzlies for Andre Iguodala. I think that is great for both teams. Justice Winslow, I think the Heat can part ways with Justice Winslow,
agree.
and I think that Iguodala makes him better. And I think that the Grizzlies will be very happy bringing in a guy of Justice Winslow's caliber.
I think so too.
That's
a
very
great both-way trade.
That's great for both teams. I think
Yeah.
that is great. Just just kind of reading more on it right now.
I totally forgot about Justice.
It looks pretty. It looks pretty much like by the time this episode is out that will happen.
Well, we predicted it.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at my phone.
So we'll see what happens there. It seems done. I'm also seeing though that Miami have agreed to a $30 million extension for Andre Iguodala.
30 million
Wow.
over how many years? 2, 3?
2 years. Wow, that's Iguodala's 36, by the way. That's not good.
I love Iggy, but for that,
yeah, that's not great. Miami, who are notorious for making great moves, maybe they're just trying to keep him happy, and since they have so many guys on rookie deals, maybe they're thinking that they can afford that.
I suppose, but even then, like, I mean, that might be the only reason. Because they've got none.
I think they're just trying to keep him happy. Look, they got none. They got Hero, Duncan Robinson.
Adebayo still on his rookie deal.
The rookie contracts are the biggest thing when you're trying to build a top caliber team. You want cheap
good talent,
quality players. Maybe that's what they're going for here, but that's all I've really seen on that. I think it's done. So,
hey,
if you got this far in the episode,
cheers to you.
Yeah, cheers to you.
Yeah,
that one's done. But I think we'll wrap it up there. Apologies if something has happened and that we're just talking about and kind of making asses of ourselves, but
yeah,
that's how it works with this podcast because we post every single day.
Daily content.
Stay up to date with it. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at AmateurPDC. Subscribe on YouTube. Like the video if you liked it. Comment if we are idiots and let us know why we're idiots.
Yeah, please. I'd love to know.
I'd love to know why I'm an idiot. A lot of people like to tell me that from the podcast.
I happen to agree.
Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. And like I was saying, every single day we upload a podcast. So keep coming back for daily content. We will see you tomorrow.